Hello, welcome to another episode of Honest to Milk with myself, Duncan Donuts, and Mike, aka Two Puds. And this week we've got a returning, very special guest, Paul Main. Welcome, Paul.
Hi guys, great to see you. You well?
Thanks for coming back. Very good. All the better for seeing you.
Yeah.
Listen, if I turn up at the opening of an envelope, but even more so if the envelope comes from you two guys.
Yeah.
Hey, may I say that's a lovely iron shirt you've got on there this evening,
Yes.
Paul. Oh,
super
personally
job.
done. I'd love to say I've got a man or a woman for that, but I did it myself.
You got one of your servants to pop down to the shop to pick up your dry cleaning for you and bring it back.
I'm confused how you didn't get the dress code memo, by the way, Duncan. Where's your white top?
Oh, I don't know. I've got this Alexander McQueen jumper on that Maria managed to pick up in a charity shop for about £5 or something.
Have you been like doing your bargain hunts for
Charity
luxury
shop.
goods again?
Bin diving again for bargain jumpers. It's actually really comfortable. You know, when you get a really nice woolly jumper, can't go wrong, really, can you? You know, absolute bagger. So, Mike, what's the name of the episode today, my friend?
We are episode 104, and it's mainly Ardnahoe.
Wicked.
Yeah.
And listen, guys, congratulations on getting to the 100 milestone and getting into three figures. So, well done. I've lost lots of bets because I said you've never get past 15, but
come on, you said that.
Yeah,
you're pulling our leg, right? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, hey, listen.
I lost the bet at 10 episodes, but yeah, we're doing all right.
We may not be, but listen, we're tenacious if nothing else, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And we managed to get the summer off. So
yeah, well done. No, listen, in all seriousness, it's the effort that you put in and the diligence, determination, research, enthusiasm. It'd be dead easy to say, "Oh, we've done that. Let's forget it." So keep going.
Thank you very much. That's a cheers moment. That is
a cheers moment. Yeah, thanks for that. Cheers for that. And whilst we're doing cheers, we need to have a massive cheers because Ardnahoe is officially the people's best new distillery from the OSWAs, the Online Scotch Whisky Awards this year, which was hot off the press literally a couple of days ago, wasn't it? How are you all feeling about that, Paul?
Yeah, no, it's really, really good. I'm really pleased for the guys and girls at the distillery, especially. Because it's great for me. You go to festivals and shows and you do tastings and people compliment the whiskey, and I'm always at pains to compliment the people that are working night shifts and weekends and actually making the stuff and doing the visitor centre experience. But they're the guys that have just been, people have been turning up at their door saying, "When's your whiskey coming out? When's your whiskey coming out?" and for the thick end of 5 years saying, "Oh, it's coming, it's coming." So when you think 18 months ago we didn't have a product, the first product came out May the 10th last year, 2024, and now we've got a wee bit of a range of products and special editions and getting the kind of kudos that we're getting. So the distillery team are really stoked, and spoke to some of them today. And it's great, and it's great for. We should really appreciate people like yourselves and other advocates who are not employed by the company but actually are advocating for our product, because that goes a long way, and it's not lost on us.
It was my Whiskey of the Year 2024, wasn't it? It was that Society release. Like, that is
that was your Whiskey of the Year.
It was hands down Whiskey of the Year as well. It wasn't even close. Like, I think there was the Thing Lassie was like second, but it was a good distance between them. And I think
that was the Thing Lassie 7-year-old, right?
Yeah, even now, still available on your website, I believe, when I checked it the other day.
I think we're down a couple of 100 bottles. So yeah.
One of the guys who I work with literally has just started getting into whiskey. He's had like a couple of bottles over time, and he said, I've bought some Ardbeg Aqvavitae and I love it. I really like the peat. I went, right, okay, have a look at this one. And he was like, oh, 85 quid's a lot. I went, don't worry, in a year's time, you'll think that's nothing. It's like, you've gone down this path now and you're in.
Commit.
And so he bought one. And then in the meantime, he bought a couple of bits off Amazon and he was trying other things, this, that, and the other. And he went, I think I'm going to keep hold of this bottle. It's going to be worth money one day. I went, mate, get it drunk. Just trust me.
Yeah,
and he's like, first night, like, absolutely was just in heaven. He said the Aqvavitae's rubbish now when I go back to it. I don't like it anymore. This is the one. And then he texted me in the morning going, can I have a breakfast whiskey? I was like, no, you're going down a bad route. But yeah, he's like told other people. He's like, I think 2 of his friends have now bought it. So we're still spreading the word.
We're early. This is early on the hockey stick curve of adoption of Ardnahoe. But it's nice to it's nice to, when you try something and you realize how much you love it, and then other people are just as enthusiastic about it. And it makes you realize that it wasn't just in your head. It's just a really delicious whiskey. And just the right number of kind of bottles have been released. You know, not too few, not too many. Yeah. It's not overwhelming. You can keep up with it.
It's classic. I know you wanted to do that, and you said you wanted your inaugural and everything else to be available to people. And the fact that it has universally got so much credit from like whiskey drinkers and is still available is like, you absolutely nailed that. So
yeah, it was interesting last week because we released our first Cask Strength core release, and on that very day our last bottle of inaugural was sold from the distillery.
No way.
So and you couldn't have scripted that. It actually happened. No, and it was the team from the distillery. Sam put something on social media and she mentioned it at the weekend. So there's almost like kind of perfect timing that you bring out your kind of third core release just as you
just a world in balance, isn't it? Just right there. That's exactly what you want to see. What we should do before we move much more into the episodes, a lot of people listening will absolutely already know about Ardnahoe Distillery, but it's well worth giving a bit of a
update.
Yeah, kind of a bit of an update and just a bit of a short summary. So Ardnahoe Distillery, obviously over to you, Paul. Bit of a short update. If you haven't heard about Ardnahoe Distillery that's just won this new award, how would you sort of describe it in the blurb on the back of a book to people?
Yeah, so it's owned by the Laing family, went into business in 1948, started as blenders and brokers, passed on to the next generation, pretty much independent bottlers, and now the second and third generation wanted to own their own distillery, and eventually settled on the idea of building a new one on Islay at Ardnahoe. So the distillery actually turns 7 years next week, in fact, the end of this week, and we're an old-fashioned traditional company. Even though we're a new distillery, we make old-fashioned decisions about using things like worm tubs, about not bringing a whiskey out aged 3, not bringing out a gin, things like that.
Wooden washbacks as well,
Wooden washbacks, yep. So waited patiently till our first whiskey was 5 years old, and I'm not sure any company makes all their decisions right, but I think we've tended to get all the right decisions right about age, ABV, cask types, price point. Hopefully you can argue all day about that, I'm sure, and bringing out that right amount as well, as you say. It's a really tough decision. Do you bring out 50, 60, 70,000 bottles, or do you bring out 5,000 and then nobody can get the bloody things?
We're
learning a lot as we go, and especially when you think about 2 years ago, all we were doing was bottling single casks for 99% of the time, 300 bottles of this, 400 of this, 500 of that, and now we're putting out bottles in the thousands across the world. So great times, and I just love the feedback from whiskey enthusiasts and guys like yourself. So we're in a good position, and the future looks good.
We're just all really excited and happy for you guys, I guess. Really, that's kind of it in a nutshell, isn't it? And like, if you were, how do you these days describe the sort of key tasting characteristics of the whiskey to people? So
yes, I mean I've done this before, and I go back to when the distillery was a concrete base, and Jim McEwen, who was our advisor at the time, took me out for a coffee that lasted about 2 hours, and he told me then what the flavour of Ardnahoe was going to be, what we were going to drink tonight. And it's real craftsmanship if you can, before there's even a bit of steel or a bit of engineering in the distillery, say, here's what it's going to taste like. So the short summary is we wanted to make a typical Islay peated whiskey, but obviously one that was different from the other 8, because why would you copy someone else, even though it's probably easier to copy than to make something different? And our point of difference is all of these whiskies in the nose, you'll get that smoking peat, typical Islay peated whiskey, but the spirit is very, very fruit forward. The whole engineering and chemistry process and the design of the worm tubs and the line arm and everything else is all about getting fruit flavour into the spirit. So it's a very fruit-forward whiskey, and then the peat and the smoke comes at the very, very end of the palate. So even though it's 40, 45 parts per million, it feels so much softer. So what I've found at festivals, guys, is that if you're a peat fan, there's enough peat in there to interest you. But if peat's not your thing, there's just enough peat to actually maybe sort of entice you into that kind of dark side. Yeah. There's a lot of non-peat fans that go, I don't like peat, but I really like that. So that's our point of difference, I think. But over and above that, the distillery team have managed to put together we're going to have some 5 and 6 year old whiskies tonight that are just so, words that are overused in the industry, but I make no apology for it. Balanced, smooth. That youthfulness is really, really hard to detect, I think. I love putting these whiskies out blind. I was in London a couple of weeks ago, and people were saying that this is a 12-year-old whiskey, and it was a kind of 5-year-old Ardnahoe. So, so that's roughly our kind of main point of difference in the kind of gallon into a pint pot behind us.
Yeah, we obviously had you on before, but I just think it's really good just to sort of recheck in with, like, the kind of the distillery DNA basically, and kind of how we got there. Right, before we get into taking us through these whiskies, we should do, Mike, what's been in your glass and what's been up your arse.
What's been in my glass?
Yeah, go on, what's been in your glass?
I've pulled out some of my Jack Daniel's Gold Barrel, so like 65% JD. I've been messing about with that with Diet Coke, Pepsis, all sorts of different things. And what it turns out, I really don't like bourbon and Coke. So however much I've tried it.
What inspired you to start doing? Just you were thirsty, or
so? No, Diego was round, and so we went through a few bits, and we went through those Highland Parks. We finished those 2 samples, the you and I and the Journeys, and then Lara was drinking red wine, and he just basically went over and poured a load of Diet Coke in her wine glass and went, "Have you ever had this?"
Oh, what, red wine and red wine and Coke.
Red wine and Diet Coke.
Yeah.
And he's like a thing in Spain. He's like, "You need ice," but it was like really, really good. I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna start mixing stuff. So yeah, next night just started sampling some bourbon and Coke, and no, not for me, is it basically. So yeah, stick to the straight bourbons. But then what's been up my arse is Society. I had a lovely pleasure of going into London in the early hours the other morning. Had to pick up a few bits, and my journey was quite early in the day. So as soon as Cafe Nero opened in central London, I was in there. I won't name the branch. And as I've walked in, there's basically some bloke huffing and puffing, fuming, and like storms out, basically like shoulder barges me. And I was already like, all right, I'll let it go. It's early, can't be bothered. And then he comes back in and
too
just
early
goes,
for a fight.
I said cream. And I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, I told you twice. And he's like, builder, big lad. And I went, are you actually shouting at someone over cream at 6:30 in the morning? And he went, I told her twice. I went, mate, get a grip.
He's got
chill
other
out.
problems going on in his life, hasn't he?
What's it got to do with you? Yeah. What's it got to do with you? I went, it's got nothing to do with me until you start shouting at people. And he's like, you've got no idea what's going on in someone's life. I went, no, I don't. You don't know what's going on in my life. You don't
know
the
person's life behind the kite now who forgot to put his cream in.
That is scared shitless now because you're screaming at her over some squirty cream. And I was like, you're going to get.
He's taking a look at himself, doesn't he?
And he was like, well, I said it fucking twice. Blah, blah, blah. And he starts like continues kicking on, and she like squirts this cream just really slowly, just staring at him. And I went, right, now you're the cat that's got the cream. Do you want to say sorry or are you going to leave? And he's just like, you're a prick. You're what's wrong with society. And I'm like, oh my God, I think it's you, my friend, but you have a wonderful day. Now take care. And like ushered him out the shop. And he was just like, you're a wanker.
Oh dear.
I was like, how has it gone from that at 6:30 over squirty cream?
Who has that much energy at 6:30 in the morning? Like, it's just not. You just get it and go. Oh, I just drink it as it is. Who cares? Crack on.
Yeah,
I'll get one with cream. I'll get one with cream tomorrow. Right.
Society, but like his face and everyone in there chuckled when I was like, "Well, now you're the cat that's got the cream. I think you're done." And he was raging.
So you got your one-liner in, basically.
Got my one-liner, and
there's a win, isn't it?
I had a free coffee anyway. So I think I probably would have had a second one free if I'd asked. But hey, just doing my bit for the world, make it a better place.
Hero. He went round afterwards and signed everyone's, coffee cup. So shook some hands.
Mark.
A couple of videos. I saw it going on social media. Yeah, absolutely. You're a national hero. Yeah. National hero. Yeah.
How about you, Duncan? What's been in your glass? What's been up your ass?
Do you know what? It's all been a bit of a blur since that. Still one of the greatest nights of my life. Just after that night with Pete, just trying all those whiskies. It's just been downhill since then, really, to be honest. But I don't know. I've been a Tamdu. I've poured myself a Lagavulin Distillers Edition PX as my calibration jam as we hand the baton from my previous favourite distillery in Islay, Lagavulin to seemingly my new favourite distillery, Ardnahoe. Paul, it's making Paul uncomfortable. It's too much praise. Paul's getting uncomfortable. It's too much praise. Too much. But yeah, so I've got a lager in at the moment. I picked off some stuff from the front of the cupboard. And yeah, that's probably about it. What's been up my arse is probably just how I was never allowed to do Halloween as I was growing up, but all the kids these days expect to do Halloween. When I asked my parents, can I do, be like, no, it's American. We're not doing Halloween. No.
So
I was allowed to go
Americans as well as the Welsh.
I was allowed to sing carols in the streets around Christmas.
I thought you meant to someone's house called Carol.
Just Carol. You go to Carol's and that's it, young man.
Oh, Carol's got so many sweets. You got sweets for days.
Sweets for days.
Buckets of
I think my parents thought it through because your kids just get loads of sweets. And if your kid's well behaved, that's the sweets they're going to eat for the next month or two. Like,
saving your money.
She'll ask permission. She's like, can I have a sweet? Like, no. Okay, tomorrow, try again. Can I have a sweet? You can have one. So all these other kids are just yamming sweets, going absolutely crazy. Like, locally.
Did you have any at your door?
No, because that's the thing. Is if you go out trick-or-treating, no one can come to your door because you're out. I mean, they can, but they're not going to get anything, are they? So
yeah,
I
was ready above the window with some hot tar, just like all.
It was kind of cute, actually. Do you know what? I'll big up one family, and they've done this amazing thing. So they dressed up their whole of the house. I think they were an Irish family. Oh no, she might have been from the north. That's terrible. So anyway, they dressed up the whole of the house. Giant spiders' webs. Because we just passed Halloween now, just for context. If you listen to this. It is. We're coming up for fireworks night, aren't we, lads? Right?
Yeah, we might release this in June.
So amazing house. They had like a body swinging from the house, looked about child-sized. The only miss was they didn't have the body making noises like "help me." That would have been great, right? Because that would have really thrown the kids.
In there.
But then they had a table out the front, and as the kids went up, they went, "Don't touch. We'll take children's fingers." And I thought, this is great. This is right on the line of what's acceptable because the kids were slightly scared, but also really intrigued. And then she said she was all dressed up like a maid, like an old maid. And she went, do you want sweets or apples? And they went, obviously they went sweets. She pointed to two big silver trays, right?
Yeah.
Sweets or apples. And she pointed to each one. And they obviously said sweets. And then she pulled up the sweets one. And one of her kids was there going,
ah, no way.
Yeah, terrified them. Absolutely
That's
brilliant.
Amazing.
So good. And they were just doing this again and again and again to process the children going down the street. So what was up my arse really was after that I was forced to drink red wine and beer, which I just doesn't agree with me these days. But the lead up to that was amazing. It was a good night.
Love it.
Yeah. Positivity.
Love it. How about you, Paul?
Yeah, I had about 3 or 4 weeks with no whiskey actually. So since then I've been really lucky. Couple of new Ardnahoe releases and a couple of cask samples that'll feature in some things over the next couple of weeks, which has been great. Hunter Laing have had a lot of new independent bottles out as well. So a great Tamdhu 16 Duncan, a brilliant Dulyun or Dulyunya from a Rioja cask. So I've been loving all that one brand stuff.
Oh, a Rioja, how's that? Is it the tobacco and the cherry or... What are you getting?
You know how sometimes red wine, it just isn't in balance and you get that kind of tannins, all the rest of it. This is just like super, super sweet and just like the perfect combination. So I've tried, I think Dulyun might be the whiskey that I've tried the most different bottles of, probably 50 or 60 different bottles over time. It's definitely my favourite. And I'm not I wouldn't say go-to, red wine's my go-to thing, but this one's particularly special.
It's one of your favourite distilleries then?
Yeah. I mean, it's consistently good. It's another good Diageo distillery that just does. It's hard to get a bad one, to be honest. But that makes this bar even higher for this one to be so good. And I've got to thank you guys actually because I tried to go off-brand Wireworks Necessary Evil, the one in the stout cask. What a dram that is! I really, really, really enjoyed that.
What
really
distillery?
Enjoyed that. Yeah.
Which came second to you to Ardnahoe.
So,
but also is an unbelievable distillery. If you haven't tried a bottle from Wireworks, you absolutely should. Right?
I tried it about 10 days, 2 weeks ago. So before the Oz was the Oz were shortlisted, but they weren't. The results weren't known, and I had good expectations for it, but just because of your podcast, maybe 10, 15 podcasts ago, and it all sounded good, but I hadn't tried any of it. So I tried that, and I've got another one there. I forget which one it is. But
there might be a correlation between coming on the podcast and doing well. I'm just putting out there.
Just listen, on a graph, on a simple graph, it's a direct trajectory upwards, isn't it? But do you know what?
Yeah.
I really do love. We both love Wireworks, but White Peak, that lightly peated, again, it's quite a fruity whiskey. There's something in that. People like peat and fruit, but it's much lighter peat than.
And that's the same with the Ardnahoe.
peat. You know, it's a very gentle, heathery peat. I think
you guys have managed to get that blend of like you've got a slight bit of medicinal in there, but you have to go looking for it. I think if you go looking for the medicinal, you can find it, but generally it's like bonfire fireworks again, which is to me the best type.
I think Paul might be being very smart here. He's gonna gently slip in distilleries that lost in the list. He's named the first one. He's gonna work. He's gonna work the next 8 in during the course of the episode somehow. Watch out for it.
No, listen, only you can take a positive comment and turn it into a negative one, Duncan.
That's our job. That's our absolute job. Yeah.
and what's been annoying me, I think I had a knee operation about 7 weeks ago today, and my recovery's not just been as quickly as I'd hoped. So that's starting to get me down, but starting there's a bit of a grind there, and I need to just keep giving myself a wee kind of push and stuff. So I've got another 3, 4, maybe 5 weeks to get back to normal. So I missed quite a few shows and some trips in September, but I'm back.
Ryan's been working hard, hasn't he?
Yeah, no, he's been doubling down, and in fact, he's just landed back from Mumbai about an hour and a half ago, actually.
Wow,
so,
nice.
He's been running up the air mile, so well done.
Oh, look, really sorry about your knee. Hope it obviously, it does get better soon.
Yeah, do your physio. Don't do me.
Yeah, no, I'm doing it.
You work so hard, though, don't you, Paul?
You do too much.
You that's it, because you're such a busy person that resting's not in your nature, is it? That's surely got
no, I've loved resting. Don't get me wrong.
Okay. Feet up properly.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. So we're really lucky today because we're going to try some new Ardnahoe releases and recent Ardnahoe releases. So as always, if whiskey turns up, I would say on the excitement scale of sort of 1 to 10, Ardnahoe's right up there at the top. So haven't had the chance to even sniff them yet or try them.
Oh, good.
I haven't. Mike might have tried a couple of them.
No, I have been resisting.
Oh, you've been resisting.
They've been poured for a little bit. I said to Paul earlier when we were off camera, I poured them all out and then went in the house just to go and get some water and stuff. And I came back in here and I was like, oh my God, the smell is outstanding. It's like, if I could just bottle that scent into like a candle, so I'm buying it.
This is also why people love, we've almost managed a whole episode without mentioning Springbank 10, because Springbank 10 is a really fruity whiskey, right? Another reason why people love it so much, just because a lot of these I'm expecting the fruit that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk us through the 4 whiskies that we've got poured in our glass this evening then?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're 4 obviously from the same distillery, so they're the same, hopefully, distillery character, but there's a point of difference in each of them. So the first one is we do some brand ambassador work with a band called Skerryvore. Skerryvore celebrated their 20th anniversary this year, so they've been doing bigger tours than before. I think they've got I was going to say a video coming out soon, but it will be whatever the modern equivalent is for that on Netflix and streamed. But they've had a really, really big year. I mean, they're in America 2 or 3 times a year, but I think they've been over more this year. And
what kind of music is it then?
So it's kind of a bit of Scottish traditional, but in a modern kind of slant. So it's they're really, really nice guys. 7 really good blokes. Love their whiskey. When they do tours in America, they have a meet and greet the day before with fans, but the meet and greet's a whiskey tasting. So they're genuine whiskey fans, and awesome. And that collaboration with us is really good. And I remember them saying one day, I think it was last year at the festival, they're saying that their job is to tour the world and promote Scotland. And he says that's what Hunter, Laing and Ardnahoe do as well, to promote the best of Scotland. So there's a real kind of synergy in what they do and what we do. So the guys picked 8 different casks from the warehouse, and we managed to marry them together into this here. So it's a 5-year-old Dram. We bottled it at 50%, which is the kind of Ardnahoe strength and harks back to the kind of old malt cask range of Hunter, Laing. So it's a mix of bourbon and sherry, and sold out in a day. 2,000 bottles. I think the guys probably wish now they had done 5,000, but there you go.
Yeah.
I went on the day after to pick up a bottle.
Yeah.
Casually.
Yeah.
Gone.
Well, if you missed it, this will be your first chance to get it. But
well, it's one of those things. I mean,
good.
You always be putting out enough expressions to not have a Debbie Downer about it. But
that's like, to me, tin pineapples as well as like cream. There's that fruit impact straight away on the nose. Really,
is that pineapple
nice.
chunks or pineapple rings?
Rings. Yeah. Rings, not the chunks. Let's keep it together.
Oh.
Yeah.
and I think what we've got going for us as well, and it touches on what you said about Springbank 10 as well. I think the nose of I think a good whiskey for me, the nose has to be good. The taste obviously has to be good, but that mouthfeel and the way it coats the mouth and that lengthy flavour has to be good as well. And this one absolutely does that. And I think as I get older and more mature and I've drank more and more whiskey, I think it's the third part of these things that's more important for me. It's the mouthfeel and the coating of the mouth. And that, don't be wrong, there'll be times where you just want a kind of afternoon dram and you're just looking for a kind of quick fix, and the length of the flavour doesn't matter that much. But if you're really enjoying a whiskey, for me, the mouthfeel becomes more and more important. So this one's got it in spades, I think. I think the guys really enjoyed sort of sampling the cask. I think they tried about 20 or 30. And they've blended together really, really well, I think.
Yeah. Do you know what? We recently had one of the Diageo ambassadors on. I think did we put that out? Maybe might know.
Not yet.
But one thing that comes across, whilst people will say, "Oh, Diageo is more expensive," it is, but they're also really well balanced whiskies where you can absolutely 100% get the tasting notes at ABVs that are above your sort of usual 46%, but somehow not so high that it's going to burn your nostril hair and stop you sort of so that's kind of what you're paying for. And I think Ardnahoe is also very well balanced, right? So it matters. People forget it.
You've said it there as well. Mouthfeel, that is coating, that goes down well. It's got I haven't got tropical on the palate. It's got orchard fruit, ginger spice, little bit of oak char in there. Like, that floral.
It's got a slight sort of one of the herbs, hard to sort of say which, isn't it? The balance is there with the sweetness and the oak and the wood and that little bit of char that Mike mentioned.
Right. I always get like heather comes to mind, but I've got no point of reference for it. And I think I throw that as stuff I don't quite understand.
I don't normally do the tasting notes for the bottle, but I'll do it here. So, nose of candied almonds, fresh barley, salty caramel. The palate is sweet and fruit forward with flavours of mango and pineapple alongside savoury notes of smoked bacon and sea spray. The finish is long, satisfying with a slight hint of white pepper and sweet spice.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like you get the brininess and the sea spray on the nose as well, for sure. I mean,
yeah. And it's what you don't get. It's a dog that doesn't bark, I suppose. You just don't get that's a 5-year-old whiskey. No.
Absolutely
not even close. No. It tastes upwards of 10, I think, without any kind of question.
Easy. Yeah. Again, that you said it earlier, that would go so well in a blind because that would just folk are going to think that's an older Talisker, perhaps.
Now, you know what you mentioned in the notes. What it reminds me of now, with what you said, is when you sit down in SMWS and you have those smoky salted almonds, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because you mentioned almonds, and I could sort of see that was like almonds, but they're sort of buried with the smokiness and the saltiness that in bags. Yeah.
I've got to be honest, that's the first I've tried that. I opened the bottle to send yourself some samples down. So this is my first try of it. I really like that. I think I tried it before it was vatted, as a kind of a sample. But that's the first I've tried it for the bottle. And if you're one of the people that get one of the 2,000 bottles, that is a drinker. No, that is a drinker.
It's more on the peat's there, obviously, but it's more on the smoky side, this one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It feels quite smoke heavy, which is interesting because that's more towards the sort of Lagavulin drinkers love the smokiness of Lagavulin.
Do you know what I'm glad of? I haven't had a tasting note for ages. Strawberry laces is back there, like slightly salty strawberry laces on the palate.
But you're right about Diageo earlier, Duncan. If you think about Kalilas and Blair Athos and Taliskers and Glenords and Dillunes we mentioned earlier, and just about any distillery that they own, if you get it as a single malt, it rarely disappoints. In fact, that's not enough a compliment. It's normally, I mean, Khalil is a classic example, I think. A Khalil is always an 8 out of 10, 8.5, 9. You never get anything below it. It's just they know how to make good spirit. They really, really do.
Yeah, if you get the OB stuff as well, the official bottling stuff, then it's just really well put together. These
and that's great for independent. Great for independent bottlers like us. I know we're celebrating Ardnahoe tonight, but as independent bottlers to have an inventory with some of their back catalogues, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
super,
absolutely.
This is exactly what you said. So look again on the nose, bright. It's so oily. It's so easy. The mouthfeel's amazing, but it's the brine and the smoke and the sort of salted, smoky almonds that I get mostly on the nose, and then that bit of sweetness. And you feel like Mike says, heather. I feel like there's a slight herbiness, but super gentle, right?
Yeah, palate cleanser as well. Like that is, you don't come away from that like chewing smoke like some of them can do at the finish, and that's all you can experience. I now feel quite fresh in the mouth.
It's light, isn't it? Light, fresh. It comes back at the end though a little bit. Full bodied. Oh. Yeah, it's really super. Again, it's probably one that's probably a bit too easy to drink, which is not a bad thing, right? I mean, but it's
big time.
Yeah. I think we've made the right decision bottling at 50. I think if we bottled this at 46 or certainly 43 or 40, it just wouldn't have the weight and body and depth and character that it's got. So I think that 50% decision, which was made a long, long time ago, it feels now, was really, really sound.
Yeah.
And I think my sense is we've got a very versatile spirit as well. It works because we're going to go into some drams here that are first fill bourbon and bourbon only. We've had core releases that are a mix of bourbon and sherry, predominantly bourbon and predominantly sherry. Mike, you loved the Society bottling last year from sherry quarter casks.
Yeah.
I've tried the whiskey and from cognac and from Madeira cask and all the rest of it, and it just seems to be that it's a good spirit that works in lots of different cask types, and I think that's a sign of a good distillery. I always think back to Arran. I think Arran are really, really good at that. Peated, unpeated, white wines, red wines, Madeiras, rums. So hopefully we've got that versatility that has a longevity.
Have you got
as
any
well.
Palo Cortado aging at the moment at all?
But I don't know. That's my homework. That's my homework. I'll find that out.
Palo for the absolute win, I think. You know what? One of the things I love about whiskey is people like it when you get a different thing on the nose to the palate to the finish. I personally really like it when, whilst you will discover different things, there's a consistent note that goes through it, and that smokiness, the brininess, and the almonds goes the whole way through. But as you come towards the end through the finish, that kind of pineapple, but through the smoke, behind the smoke is that little bit of pineapple, and still a bit of the almond. There's a couple of other things in
frazzles and bacon's there.
Yeah, a little bit of frazzles and bacon. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, absolutely. But it changes, but there's a consistency, and I like that because I like to sort of know where I am with the whiskey. You discover new things, but I like it to have a profile. So it seems like the Skerryvore lads have absolutely nailed that. So probably sign them up for another bottle at some point, I would have thought.
Yeah. No, who knows? Maybe when they turn 25, they'll do another release. But no, I'm
they can get to
44 when you start off. You pick up a fruit note, and then you pick up something that's a bit spicy, and then you pick up something else, and it just means that every sip you're getting of the whiskey, you can recognise the character for the whiskey, but you're picking a different flavour up, but there isn't one that dominates the other. No, so I think that's a sign of that kind of balance.
It's strange, isn't it, that the two fruity notes that come out of that really are pineapple and strawberry, right? The orchard fruits is much more sort of dialed back on that one.
When I go back to that Infinite Loch now as well, just on the nose, that is so creamy. Like, that is unreal. And I love having something from the same distillery where you've got that, as you said, underlying character going through, and you just pick up the nuances of the cask and the aging and all the little things that just make each one different.
So I think you and I did Infinite Loch before we had the Skerryvore, Mike, and it's 85% bourbon, 15 sherry. So that's when you're getting that kind of creaminess and kind of oat cakes, aren't you?
Yeah.
Kind of cereal notes. No.
Beautiful.
So the second one, guys, I hope you're not offended at me using a whiskey that has been created and cultivated.
Of course not. No, absolutely
matured by another podcaster. But No,
I'm an avid barfly, so I'll put that out there.
Yeah,
I join in sometimes. Mike's in there regularly. Roy's an absolute legend.
On Saturday, exactly. Yeah. So this is the Aqvavitae bottle, 762 bottles, 4 first fill bourbon casks. I think I had the privilege of going up with Roy to our bottling plant and being there the day it was getting bottled. And he did a wee bit of stuff for YouTube and all the rest of it. And it was great being a fly in the wall, watching everybody else, because he had that kind of feeling of he'll not mind me saying this, a kind of expectant father. Because as much as they had tried the samples, they hadn't tried them all vatted together.
Yeah.
And you're putting four casks together, and something's are going to change. So I was literally there when the first bottle came off the run, and he poured something into an Ardnahoe glass and tasted it for the first time. And you know what it's like. You watch someone drinking a whiskey and you've got a really good idea if they're enjoying it or not, and whether it's met their expectations, and this one did. So 6 years old. I think when he brought it out, which was only September, I think, so it's less than 2 months ago.
Super recent now, isn't it?
Yeah, it was the second oldest bottling at the time, 6 years and a good few months.
Which is good.
And bottled at his favourite strength of 55%. So I put this on a tasting on Friday night, actually an online tasting with about 40 people, and the feedback on it was incredible. So
is that pure bourbon cask?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, all bourbon.
Yeah, pure burbs. Super creamy, isn't it, the nose?
Super creamy.
Still
carrying
creamy
through that like tropical high note for me. I'm still getting that pineapple in there.
Yeah, pineapple chunks this time.
Well, it's stone.
Not the rings. Just
it's stone fruits, but it might be more peach. I was going to say it's a different type of fruit this time. For me, there's a slight herby note as well alongside it.
Yeah, I get a
bit of a sort of
orange chewits.
I think when we had it on Friday, a few people come up with that kind of pear cube type note as well, and it's got that stringency about it that for me it kind of dries the palate a wee bit, but makes the mouth water as well, which I always love in a whiskey. And again, it's got that, the way it just kind of tingles the lips a wee bit and then kind of coats the mouth.
Do you know what? That's fantastic. Again, that's so this is
unreal.
This for me is 100% bourbon cask. I'm assuming it must be first fill, right? This for me has moved very quickly into the territory of, so profiles are slightly different, but
yeah,
I get confused between trying blind, like an Arran, like a cask strength Arran and a cask strength local barley, or a cask strength for Springbank, right? When they're 100% bourbon cask. And this is close enough to that if I was going blind, it's hard to say. So if you are the kind of person that loves the idea of drinking that type of whiskey but can't get hold of it, this is right in there. It's oily, it's fruity.
Such a good. I'm so glad you said that. If you'd have told me
it's dirty,
blind,
it's got that dirty note to it. I don't know how have you done that?
If you'd have said local barley, I'd have gone absolutely 100%. I'm really happy to have tried
oily,
it. Great
creamy.
to try local barley, and it's not mega.
I mean, it's obviously different, but it's just so close that unless you've got the most unbelievable palate in the world, you could easily get them confused in a blind. See if I've got that slight.
I think Roy's done
Sorry, go on.
Roy picking the ABV, I think, has been very smart as well. I know 55 is his thing, but I think this works at 55. I'd love to have tried this at 50 and done a compare and contrast, and I'm pretty confident that Roy's got it right at 55, to be honest. I think it's just elevated.
There's a slight sort of Palmer, like you said, like pear drops or pear cubes or something, but there's a slight sort of Palmer Violet type note. There's again the hint of smoked briny almonds in the nose.
Yeah, it's
right
herbal,
there.
But again, a different herbal from everything else.
Yeah, and there is a slight dirt, like minerality and dirtiness on the palate. Like, do you know what I mean?
So this one's 6 years old.
Superb.
So I think this is the first time I've put a spot of water in it, and
good as it.
Oh, we changed there.
Try the same.
Don't think it needs the water, but just a bit of compare and contrast.
Couple of drops. Again,
I'll let you do that, and then tell me if I need to add.
Doesn't want to waste it.
Yeah.
Again, if you're going blind, you're just going to say it's like somewhere between 8 to 12 years old, I think, as a first fill bourbon, right? For a mixture. How many casks is it? This one?
4.
Super.
Yeah. Don't put water in it, Mike. I think it's all right without.
I'm loving that colour.
Absolutely ruined it. But if
this is why I've worn white, so I can see the colour of the dram.
Well, I think I said earlier, I had 2 bottles of it, and that's what I've got left. The second bottle. So
it goes more vegetal when you put water in it, and the sort of perfumey notes come out more in it, I think.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good description. Yeah, Mike's done the right thing. So no, fair play to Roy. Roy, again, like yourself, has been a really good advocate of Ardnahoe. I think he made Ardnahoe. I think he made the inaugural his Whiskey of the Year last year, which was a big thing. And he's then followed that up with doing his own. In fact, I think this bottling was his largest one out of all the other ones he's done with Daphne and Ardnamurchan and Glasgow and Loch Lomond.
Yeah.
So, no, the team really enjoyed working with him, and from a personal point of view, it was great to actually go there and see the birth, if you like, of his whiskey, and he was really pleased. He was delighted. So,
we have to bottle our own now just to compete. I'm just saying, I like a challenge. I'm a very competitive person.
100% Paolo. Or Rioja. Oh my gosh, can you imagine Ardnahoe in a Rioja cask with like the tobacco and the cherry notes coming through? It'd be absolutely ridiculous. Like salted almonds, briny, tobacco. Honestly,
we're coming for you, Roy.
That'd be intense. Look, that's not really been our scene. Not as in bottling, we haven't done it, but we love to see people doing it and enthusiastically backing it. And what a way to go, basically, to sort of say, let's just go into sort of local barley type, Arran cask strength territory. 55% is perfect. That's kind of where local barley's bottled. It's always between sort of 54.5% and sort of 57%, isn't it? Right.
Do you know what do you know what it was selling for?
This went for was it 75, I think.
Great value.
I think, and the other thing that's been happening as well, if you've been looking across Europe or elsewhere, we've done a lot of small batch bottlings for distributors in Germany and Switzerland and Taiwan. I think Cyprus actually. So with kind of trusted partners like Roy and these kind of trusted customers across the world, we've done small bottles of maybe 300 or 1,000. So you're actually starting to see on some auction sites kind of really, really small batch Ardnahoes. So you're right earlier that you mentioned there's not been too many releases, but we've done quite a few with particular customers. And if you're a private cask owner, you're going to be able to bottle your own cask as when it turns 8, which will be for most cask owners a year this time next year. So after that, you might see lots of private casks starting to appear as well.
Well, if you want to send me some bottles, Paul, I'm going to Whiskey Live Madrid at the end of November. So if you need me to fly the flag for you, you just let me know. I'll free port to the Spanish people.
Madrid's like one of the main city, right, in Spain. So that will be possibly the biggest. The biggest festival in Spain, I would have thought. Yeah,
I think so. I think there was one smaller one that took place this year, but I think from looking at the people that are going, like companies and stuff, I'm like, it's the right type of people. I've managed to, I don't know if I said to you, I managed to book flights and it was like 100 quid. And I said to Lara, I was like, she'd just come back from traveling, so she was absolutely exhausted. She'd been away for a week or something. And I was like, flights are like 150, but if I go for like 3 days, it's 100. And then I was like, if I go for 5, it's 50 quid return. And she went, it makes sense then, just
50 quid return. Yeah.
And she went, well, it makes sense, just do that. And then she's forgotten all about that. And I was like, right, don't forget Whiskey Live Madrid. She's like, when is it? I was like, end of November.
If I go for 2 weeks, they pay me to go.
Yeah. But she was like, how long are you going for? I was like, 5-6 days, I think. She's like, when did I sign that off? And I was like, you were very tired. And
Guys, the next Dram, I'm really keen that the next Dram, I did this on Saturday night where I sat with Roy's Dram and I sat with the next Dram together. And Roy and I have been messaging each other about which one's best and all the rest of it. And so this is the
friendly competition.
I love that Roy's as competitive as I hoped.
It's really friendly. Well, it isn't my part. I think Roy's more competitive, to be honest.
He's a tiger.
Yeah, but I think, in all honesty, I think it's a cracking comparison, because what you've got is Roy's 6-year-old that he's brought down to 55%, only 4 casks. This we're now going to is the first Cask Strength core release, so it just came out on, this is the first week in November, it came out last Thursday, 5 years of age, 60.9%. No, it's come out at 60.9. A smaller batch than
my
what
days
our
the nose.
previous...
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my day! Because I was waiting to try this
Roy, you've lost.
Bottle, but I don't know why I bothered waiting. I just bought it. Like, it hasn't. This is going to be regularly available. Please say those words.
Yeah. So what we've done. Right. So what we're doing is, this is the smaller batch than our previous core releases. So there's maybe a couple of thousand cases of this. And what we're going to do is just keep bringing out different batches. So as time goes on, the whiskey's going to get older and the ABV will change each time. So a side by side here, I think, is a really, really good comparison, because you're comparing something 6 years old, it's only 4 casks, with something 5 years old at a slightly higher ABV, Cask Strength 60.9, and there's, try to think how many casks are in this, maybe 30 or 40
I'm
or something
sitting
like that.
here just looking at Duncan,
days
trying to force his entire head into this glass.
That is naughty. Daddy Di would say that's assault. That's naughty. It's really, that's... It's like...
And this is a great dram for a blind tasting, because you'll never guess the age and you'll never guess the ABV.
You've managed to get cigar and stuff in there as well. Like, there is red berry in there.
There's when you keep cigars in a box or like whatever, like, and you take them out, there's that smell of when you get the cigar boxes with like the when they come in, when you buy them in like an airport, and they come in this what's the wood? They come in some
Spanish cedar.
Do you see this? It's Spanish cedar wood, a little light Spanish cedar wood. You take the cigars out and you stick your nose in the box, and you get that smell, right? With the creaminess and the hint of floral or Parma violets or whatever it is.
And this is all first fill bourbon as well. So that's why I think doing the compare and contrast with Aqvavitae bottles, really good. There's so much similarity, but there's so much points of difference as well.
The Pepsi challenge, that famous challenge, because we keep talking about it, wouldn't it be worth the advertising weight in gold to do a blind challenges somewhere where you can do it with people and record the results and be able to say that X number of people tried it, like everyday people tried this, and how old did they think it was? Is it over 10 years or under 10 years or whatever, however you do it? And you could use that, because it absolutely doesn't taste like 5, 6 or 6-year-old whiskey in this case, right?
Oh, Mike's went to a happy place as well.
It's a bit more vegetal, isn't it? It's a little bit more vegetal.
That is...
Switches between them. It's like a Jekyll and Hyde. Maybe. One sniff is vegetal, one sniff is sweet. It just keeps going in between.
Baked goods, like pie. We're in pie land as well now. Apple pie. Again,
you've got one of your favourite notes. Is it key lime pie? One of your favourite notes, Mike? Is it? Yeah, I don't think it's in this, but
it's not. I haven't got the lime, but 100%
more orange.
Yeah,
on the palate anyway.
Definitely
maybe orange and peach on the palate.
Yeah, that floral note. Again, I don't know what it is. I'm gonna have to go and hunt out Heather, because I'm gonna say Heather because I've got no other comparison. But I don't know if it is.
It's one of the joys of the job I do, that you pour someone a drink and you just watch them drink it.
But it's so intense, isn't it? We're obviously fascinated by it, but it's also really bold and intense on the nose.
That nose is unreal, and it's a similar experience to the Society cask as well. I just smelt it and I was like, I don't want to taste it, because it's so good on the nose. But
the consistency's there. It's still smoky, it's still briny. It's fruity, it's sweet, it's slightly vegetal every single time, right? But more on the sweet side and fruity side.
Often when you pour someone a drink, you want to tell them a story about it, about the history of the family or the history of the distillery, or it's got the longest line arm of any distillery in Scotland, or it's got 77 metres of worm tubs, whatever. But sometimes it's best just telling them nothing and let them drink the drink. Yeah. And then they'll ask you all the questions. How the hell is that a 5-year-old whiskey? Or how the hell is that a 6-year-old whiskey? And then you can tell them about some of the craft that's involved in it with the team at the distillery. I loved watching both of you drinking that for different reasons. So that's good.
Do you think there's ever such a slight hint of the beautiful? And also, you should make some time to talk a bit about the people at the distillery this episode. Again, especially given the fact you've just won the People's Choice Osborne Award, best new distillery.
And that's the most important, the People's Choice.
I think so.
As much as like the Aussies are a genuine
in the nerdy segment of whiskey, it's the most important.
Yeah, 100%.
Which does shape opinion going beyond that.
Yeah.
Every one of us nerds gets asked by somebody going, "Do you know I quite like smoky whiskey? What would you recommend? Quite like peaty whiskey. Anything you'd recommend?"
You know what I get on this now, and this is like weird. So my nan's corned beef and potato pie. Like short crust pastry, bit of like really like nice mashed potato, and then corned beef with smoke.
There's a tasting note. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's literally
insane,
taking me back. That is.
I get what you're saying about pies.
I get it.
I get what you're saying about
things
pies.
with like so smells. If I walk out of the house in the morning, I can. It sounds stupid, but I can smell the air, and it will take me back to like being 13 years old. I can remember walking out of my house to school, and I've got the same smell. It's like a weird memory, intrinsically linked.
Yeah. And then you went into Nero's and argued with a builder.
Yeah.
It's probably not Paul. There's probably not a day goes by that Mike doesn't have a Barney with somebody when he's out and about. Look, I think do you remember when we were sitting at the pot still and we have those pies in front of us and you got the mushy peas? I think I get mushy peas. Also, ever such a slight hint of pickled onion because it's got a creaminess about it. It's not sharp, to be clear, but little things that you pick out. It's got little bits of acidity, which comes in as pickled onion for me.
That's the word. It's not pickled onion for me, but it's like got that acidity. And again, as we've seen with all of these, I think so far, it's a weird thing to say, but it's like a palate cleanser. It really does give you so much good mouthfeel, and then goes, right, you're all fresh. Go again. Have another one.
Yeah.
But if I was going to sum it up, obviously Roy's favourite. This is going to be the episode where we talk the most about Roy, but we haven't mentioned Ralphie, so we shout out Ralphie because he was also at the Oscars Awards sitting next to
Thank you,
Roy.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Absolutely. And they
very
had
complimentary about the old style workings of Ardnahoe and Ardnahoe. Yeah.
Ardnahoe and Ardnahoe, yeah.
Ardnahoe.
Yeah.
And then Roy did at the end, he went, Ardnahoe? Ardnahoe. Very good. Very good. He's doing your marketing for you there. So,
yeah.
It is, I feel like Roy, and listen, I don't know this for sure, I'm just guessing, but I feel like Roy.
I've got Ardnahoes in different area codes. That should have been the title.
I feel like Roy has sort of gone, because he loves local barley and he loves first fill bourbon. It's great, right? I feel like he's gone out to pick stuff which sits where how much he likes that kind of profile. And so I feel like Roy's is more towards that, whereas, I said, like, for me, if I was drinking an Arran Cask Strength blind or I was drinking a local barley first fill bourbon blind, I might be saying this is in the same ballpark, the Aqvavitae one. But whereas this one from the distillery, the Cask Strength, is much more Ardnahoe for me. They're all Ardnahoe, but it's brinier. It's
a punch to your face. That is a great.
Well, listen, whiskey is all about opinions, but there's one opinion that is overriding Roy's bottling and this bottling, and it's not an opinion, it's a fact. Roy's bottle's all sold. There's plenty left of this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
what I'm saying is they're both very good. They're both creamy. They're both cask strength. I'm just thinking about how Roy went about picking the casks. Basically, that's what I was thinking.
That's a good point, though. Like, people that have bought Roy's Dram can't get that again. That is the natural place. If you really loved Roy's Dram, you need to be buying this.
Yeah, and listen, if MD came to your house with either of these bottles, you're absolutely delighted. No, you're absolutely delighted. And you mentioned the pot still there. I know that was last year when you were at Glasgow Whisky Festival. So that's
pies. I mean,
this weekend coming up at the time of recording.
Yeah.
Wow.
This will be the first festival where we've got the Cask Strength on the table. So there'll be lots of people trying it there for the first time. So it's going to be really interesting just seeing what people's reaction is.
What a time to be alive. To see if anybody else says pie.
Yeah. Flip the episodes. We'll release 104 before 102.
Yeah. If anyone says it's like my grand's corned beef pie or whatever, I'll say, "Oh, I know your brother."
If you go back and sniff the Aqvavitae one now, I get like really bold tangerines on the nose.
Yeah.
Like,
what else? Marzipan as well.
Okay.
Me.
It's changed a bit because it's been sitting there for a while.
Yeah,
you know, one dram affects the other one, and how you sniff it and how you taste
And now
it.
infinite Loch bubble gum.
Yeah. I've put a bit of water in that last one, so it's not great. Well, it's great, but it's not great for doing.
I'll edit that bit out, don't worry.
No, it's not great for coming up with the best tasting notes, no, because it's not in its own. So
yeah, absolutely. I think none of them they're all pretty well. They're all pretty well balanced. So none of them really require water. If you like your Cask Strength whiskey, your stronger whiskey, you'd never be. There's just the right amount of the tiniest amount of kick on both of them. The last two we tried, just a tiny bit of kick, and I feel like the Aqvavitae one has quite a bit of white pepper on the end, whereas this one is the Cask Strength from the distillery, even though it's stronger, is a bit gentler on the finish.
Yeah. So this one's only been out 4 days. I think Roy's done the compare and contrast. I've now done it twice. There will not be too many people that have got both these bottles and done the compare and contrast. And I know, I'm pretty sure, and I know if you're speaking to Roy over the weekend, they won't mind doing it. So it's just, it's just a bit of fun. But you're seeing the same spirit from similar casks, slightly different ages, slightly different ABVs, and it's amazing. Even within this kind of narrow single distillery profile, the diversity you can get from similar casks. No?
It literally typifies what got me or turned me into a geek. That when you think you just take these really simple base elements and make a beer basically, and then make a whiskey. Just treat it differently, and it is just never-ending combos that can just go on, and it's unreal how. Yeah. These are so different and yet intrinsically got that same thing going through.
And if you're a Michelin star chef, the same thing applies. Give me 4 basic ingredients and I can turn it into 20 or 30 different things. You know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But I always say that if the Michelin stars were awarded for making whiskey, there'd be lots of distillery managers and blenders and what have you with multiple Michelin stars across Scotland and elsewhere for that matter, but certainly across Scotland. And I think there's almost an argument for making a kind of standard like that. I mean, I know Michelin's got years and years of history to it, but we just should not underestimate the skill involved in making a whiskey like this, or the Highland Park that you've tried together, and all the kind of Diageo stuff we mentioned before. The quality is incredible.
These have all been tremendous so far. I know it's too early to say what your sort of favourite is.
Well, the next one's a big risk because Mike last year voted for our Society bottling as his favourite dram of the year, which thanks very much for that, Mike.
It was,
and you weren't alone.
Yeah.
You weren't alone. There's lots of people who said similar things to me, and if they didn't have it as a favourite, it was certainly in their top 3 or 5 or 10, which you would take every day. For whiskey fans to put this in their top 10 was great. So you remember last year our Society bottling was a mix of Pedro Jimenez and Oloroso quarter casks put together. I forget what the strength it came out at, actually. Was it about 59 point something?
58, 59, I think.
If you let me turn it back on you.
Yeah, it's okay.
Do you look behind the bottle? Oh, bloody hell. Don't have any left.
Neither do I.
Don't have any left. But there's still some available online. So you guys are going to be the first to try the 2025 Society bottling, which will come out. I'm reluctant to say a date because you know what these things are like. They move back and forward and all the rest of it, but I would anticipate the very end of November or very start of December.
Good.
And
timing.
Also, I think the price points can be the same as last year as well, which memory serves me right.
85 quid. Yeah, 85 quid, yeah.
And
definitely 85 because I was looking at it this morning.
Yeah. The difference with this one, guys, is 2 main points of difference. Well, 3, I suppose. One is it's a year older, which you would expect. 2, we've moved away from that PX Oloroso quarter cask combination, and we've got PX Oloroso and bourbon all quarter cask combination. So I've added a bit of bourbon quarter cask, and this is coming out at 61.1%. And I'm going to be trying it for I tried a sample a while ago, but I'm going to try a bottled sample with you for the first time with you tonight. So
well, this is a real privilege because we got to try.
It.
Thank you. This is a real privilege because we got to try. Unless my memory is very bad, we got to try the last year's release, the makeup of it before it came out, thanks to you, Paul. And so we tried it on the journey, and then it became Mike's favourite whiskey of the year.
Oh, brilliant.
I like to say, I think your plans was to release it a lot later than you did. And then after the feedback from us alone came out early. That's what I like to tell people.
Well, I've got to be honest, I run the risk of getting the sack for letting you try this because I've not asked for any permission for it. But at the same time, the owners don't listen to you guys, so they won't find out about it.
They won't know. It's fine.
No, I can know.
They won't know.
No, listen, I hope you enjoy it. But as always, honest feedback is really, really appreciated. You know, if it's not your palate, let us know.
Nose literally has got all that great stuff from last year with now Bramley apple sauce or like apple pie thrown in there. It is.
Yeah, it's more orchard fruits, this one, isn't it? Becoming, even though there's some sherry in it.
Oh, yeah, the sherry in the nose you can get. But I'm looking forward to this, actually.
It's there both, isn't it? It's there, the orchard fruits battling with the sherry notes. So,
yeah.
Again, it's thick. Again, there's that underlying kind of smoky almond, salted almond note on the nose. It's there.
Do you know what, as well, I've mentioned apple. I now get the sort of like the Bramley apple thing, the hot apple sauce that you might put on a roast.
I see that.
But also cold pastry apple with like a little bit of cinnamon as well. And I'm flipping between those two apples constantly.
Yeah, the apple flavour in this, it's unusual. Most times you get an apple flavour in whiskey, it's a green apple.
Yeah.
I think this is red.
It's red, yeah.
It's kind of red apple, which is not that common.
It's red, or like Mike said, it's like when you make like an apple sauce or something like that, right? You know, you're not getting the fresh green apple skins. It's totally the other end of apple, yeah.
Hey guys, cheers!
Cheers!
Another 100 podcasts. Cheers!
There we go.
Goodness me.
Hope we'll see.
96 to go.
Whiskey of the year 2025. Let's find out.
Wouldn't be a surprise, to be honest. I love the fact how you guys take a formula that you really like this bottle that was so successful last year. Still a few bottles left. Shouldn't be. That's a disgrace. But, you know, at least there's some there for us that love it so much. And then you just change it slightly, which again is the kind of thing the sort of Springbank do. They'll take a sort of, and they'll just change the formula slightly year on year, introduce a little bit of bourbon or a little bit, in Springbank's case, rum or something like that, and just move the percentages around and keep the batches sort of consistent. I really like that approach rather than just completely changing it, you know, because then you know you're going to love it. It's going to be a bit different, but you feel like you're on a journey with the whiskey, right?
Yeah, it's an interesting debate just now because I think there's a chat being had about what the fresh bottling has to be next year, 2026, and you could argue let's change it up and do something very different, or let's just do what you've suggested there and just do a slight change in age and ABV and what have you. And they're probably, I mean, we've got first world problems. No, there's probably the worst decision would be a good one. No, if worst is it. I'm watching you drinking that, Mike. You look as if you're enjoying it. Suffice to say.
It's gone. It's taken last year's. It's got all the sherry notes in there. It's added like more than just apple. Clearly, there's orchard fruit. There's creaminess, but there's also now the smoke seems to have turned with like to an industrial level as well. So we've already said the last one. You would think that's local barley. We are knocking on Springbank's door here. I'm going to say it. There is 100% that industrial funk of just like workhorse.
That oily, dirtiness is there. It
goes right through to the finish
as well. Yeah, and again, for me, this is the first time I've tried this. As I said, for me, the mouthfeel and how it coats and lasts is really, really good. Yeah, this is, even if I wasn't, well, you know the story that I was buying Hunter Laing products for 20 years before I ever started working with them. And I keep saying to the owner, I've spent more money in Hunter Laing than they've ever paid me, and I've got no complaints about that whatsoever. No, that's
amazing.
I'm very, very happy with that. But this is definitely the type of whiskey I would buy. No, this is the type of whiskey I would buy. There's no doubt about that from me.
Very bold. It's somewhere between the sort of moist and dry, like on the palate. Super oily,
juicy
like
and
you said.
astringent.
That's it. Juicy and astringent at the same time. Perfect.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's not quite in that territory, but like you have to go to a sort of field of reference, and so that's kind of what we're doing now. Ardnahoe is its own thing. You can see the profile that continues. We keep talking about some inconsistencies, the bit of brininess, the fruitiness, the smoke. For me, the salty smoked almonds, but there's this one has that, and so did the last one. That strength of character that you get sometimes on the special Ardnahoe casks. Where they're quite thick and bold.
Yeah.
And people love that because super memorable whiskey, right? It's quite cloying and powerful,
Yeah.
Floral notes gone for me. I'm not getting any floral on this yet. But whereas I said the others were palate cleansers, this is not. You're in for a ride with this one.
And it's good that you mentioned Ardnahoe, Duncan, because I've said this a few times that when the distillery was built and the first spirit was getting run, so 7 years ago this week, there was no Ardnahoe, there was no Glasgow, there was no Lindores, there was no Loch. No, Wolfburn was 5 years old. There was no Rathie. So when we started making this spirit, the world was pretty much the distilleries before them, that would produce 8, 10, 12-year-old spirits, non-age statements, whatever. But we've had to land our spirit in a completely different environment where Ardnahoe's off the charts, Glasgow's off the charts, Loch, etc., etc., etc. And they're doing brilliant things. So the landscape now of 5 and 6 year old whiskies is completely different to what it was 10 years ago. And for me, for the better, and I don't just even take Ardnahoe out of that equation, I think it's far better. So the landscape's kind of changed, and if there was a competition, people have their own preference about which one's going to win it, but for me, the overall quality is increased of younger whiskies.
Big time.
If you look at the distilleries,
that's been one of the big.
So it's a great time to be a whiskey drinker and whiskey customer. I think
that's been one of the big changes in whiskey, is that people have started making whiskey that's ready and tastes great at 5, 6, 7, 8 years, right? That just didn't happen before. I'm just going to chuck some stuff out to you boys, lads, and just see what you think based on some things you've heard before. What I'm getting on the palate there as it rolls around in my mouth. Just chuck some. Obviously, the sherry notes, soy sauce, black treacle, smoky, salty. The apple sauce that Mike mentioned. It's like a black hole of a dram. One of those ones that just stays for like. There's no off notes. It's all good notes, and it's like almost it doesn't taste like Marmite, to be clear, but it does that thing where your sort of mouth goes in on umami, kind of your mouth sort of goes in on itself a little bit just because it's so powerful, right?
So I completely agree that it's a black hole of a dram, but don't expect to see that on the label, Duncan.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to pass it past the marketing team.
Paul, what was it I said last time? It might be a
fucking black hole for my wallet.
Kidney beans. Do you remember the kidney beans note? Oh my days! I can't believe you said kidney beans.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Do you know what? Like I wouldn't be. I could have said red bean paste.
Stocks fell, Duncan. Stocks fell,
and then we got Trump. We got Donald Trump on just to pump it back up again. Just to let it go right to the wall, to the shitter, and then just pump it back up again. Yeah. Wow, make Islay whiskey great again. This is. It wasn't great. Yeah, this is a real talking point.
Said that. I'm glad you covered that there.
Yeah. It's a real talking point. This is the kind of whiskey you want to have in your cupboard when your friends come round and they've tried a lot, but they haven't tried this. And this is something that's going to cut through whatever you're having to eat, whatever you've been smoking, right? You've had a cigar, no problem. Straight through it, It's a real talking point.
I think I know there's actually like community and sort of a lot of links between distilleries and Islay, but I reckon somewhere there's probably someone going, maybe for the society release has got this praise. They bottled their best that they can do. You proved it's not. There is an underlying character that is now like nothing else. There's that is so different that from everything we've had tonight, that is so different from anything else on Islay. It's just unique, and that is outstanding. It's like heritage.
A round of applause.
Starts.
Good.
Yeah, heritage starts now.
Yeah,
this is year 2. This is where you proved year 1 wasn't a fluke.
And Paul, those red apples.
That was your favourite dram last year, Mike. That's high praise indeed. So I'll take that. Thank you.
100%.
We should do a wee. So red apples, 100%. By the way, I mean that's such a good shout, Paul. We should. That you've got. Essentially, you've got 4 very different whiskies, 2 sort of similar-ish, right? But it's amazing how that Skerryvore, such an easy sipper. I know you can't buy it now because it's gone because the band is so popular and the whiskey's so popular. And then you've got 2 bourbon cask high strength whiskies, right? And then you've got this absolute beast, which is mixed between the Oloroso, the PX, and the bourbon cask. And it's lovely to see the DNA going through all of them, but for them to be so, it's just a lot of difference. And before tonight, I was on the camp of Ardnahoe's best with sherry in the mix. I don't know if I think now, because people have asked me, they say, should I get this one? Should I get that one? Because, people, if you haven't got a money printer, you have to be selective about what you buy. I think now I'd say just go either way. It doesn't matter. Just bourbon cask, sherry cask, it's irrelevant. Just go.
I've been the reverse because I've had the luck of trying it, as new make spirit and trying it as 1 and 2 and 3-year-old spirit, a 3-year-old whiskey. I always took the view that the whiskey shone or the spirit shone most in bourbon. But since we released our core release, Bolsa, the Society bottling last year, that Skerryvore bottling and the one we've just tried, I'm really torn about which one it shines in best, to be perfectly honest.
Isn't it?
If I go to lots of other distilleries like Glen Scotia, I'll say first fill, refill bourbon. Bourbon would be at this moment in time in my whiskey journey, which has been a long one. Bourbon's where I am, but some of the sherry stuff that we're bringing out is really, really good as well. So, but the great thing is we've got a range now that is great, that everyone's got their favourite. I love pouring at festivals. People try Infinite Loch and Bolsa, and generally it's a 50-50 split what people prefer, and that's great. If you're trying to sell whiskey, the worst scenario is everybody likes one and doesn't like the other.
Yeah.
So
or they like neither.
Yeah, I suppose that's worse. Yeah, but you're trying to appeal to genders, ages, nationalities, cultures, people's different palates. But even though we've had 4 similar whiskies there, when you think about it, we went from 50% to 61. We went from first fill bourbon to combinations of sherry and bourbon and quarter casks. There's lots of variety in there, but hopefully a common DNA. And I think the common DNA is probably that balance, smoothness. And I know some people in the whiskey world don't like the words because they're a bit cliched, but they're cliched because they're true. And I suppose that fruity flavour, whether it's the white stone fruit flavour that you're getting from the bourbon or whether it's the kind of dark and red fruit flavours that you're getting from the sherry. But there's lots of fruit in all of them.
Diving back into that Infinite Loch as well, after all
so
of
did
those,
I just did it, yeah.
That then just becomes what an everyday sipper that is now. Like a dram you want without thinking about it. You don't have to go into like the complexities and everything else. You can just enjoy what comes of it. That's like water in comparison to these. That's like that is smooth. I'll say it. It's well put together and smooth.
The memories that we've already accumulated, I still remember when we did blind drams that time and somebody had cheekily put the inaugural in, and I think I scored it a 3 but said I was touch and go for a 4.
Yeah.
And I just, as soon as that was revealed, I just knew this was the absolute real deal, right? Because you just get that sort of sense because, blind is always the true test. And I just knew, I was like, this is a 5-year-old whiskey. I'm always a bit tight. I'm tight with scoring anyway.
Yeah. In a lineup of old drams, potentially like £200-300 a bottle, and it held up.
Exactly. And I knew at the time, and it was so interesting with it, what everyone was guessing it to be, because no one suspected someone to put in Ardnahoe Dram 5. Yeah. And so everyone was guessing other distilleries, which is always a good fun. And obviously it wasn't, right? And it's too early for people to have got their head around the profile yet. So no one had a Scooby really what it was, and just knew at that time it was destined for big things. It just seems like that trajectory has been played out. So again, like, massive congratulations to everybody at the distillery. Right?
Yeah, no, all the way through this, I know how lucky I am to do the job I'm doing, but the more we spend time in this podcast, the more I think I've got the best job in the world, I think.
Yeah, you have. Yes, you have.
No, chilling out at home, resting up, letting Ryan do all the hard work.
Although, to be fair, we get sent free samples, the same stuff you're putting out, and we don't have to stand talking to people for hours and hours and hours. We get to talk to the likes of you.
It's hard graft.
Thanks.
Hard
no, listen, that's a great bit. No, it's no, you know what it's like at festivals. No, it's good people there, and they appreciate good spirit, good juice.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to tell us today about Ardnahoe's plans or what's going on for people that are sort of their interest is super peaked?
Yes, I mean, as I said earlier, across Europe and beyond, you'll start seeing, if you've not seen it already, some kind of small batch and special edition bottlings for particular distributors. And done it, as I say, Germany, Switzerland, Cyprus. I'm pretty sure Taiwan's one of the ones we've done. I think you'll probably see more of them as time goes on. This time next year, the private cask owners will be allowed to do their bottling. So you'll start seeing private cask. People will decide to bottle that at their particular strength, and you might see all sorts of different variations of Ardnahoe. And there's reams and reams of stock that we've not even let the public see. So as I said earlier on, hardly anyone's, well, we've maybe done it at a festival show with 20, 30 people, but no, Ardnahoe from Cognac, Ardnahoe from Port, Ardnahoe from heavily peated, Ardnahoe unpeated.
Ooh, unpeated.
Yeah, so, and that's before you start getting into the age statements of where are we going to end up as a core release? Are we going to have an 8-year-old or a 10 or a 12 or a 15? And
do you even need to have it more than 8? I mean, at this point,
I mean, I'm coming more and more to the conclusion that
you need more than a 5.
How old do you need? How low a young age do you need to go? But it's exciting times because some distilleries in the past, and this is if you were building a new distillery in the 40s, 50s, well, not in the 40s during the war, but the 60s or 70s, you might not have been in such a good position, because I think the industry's far better now in new distilleries. The technology, the chemistry, the sharing the information, the investment into the distillery, and investment into good casks. The fact that we're working towards delivering a single malt rather than delivering a blend that's going to be used by many others. I think we're in a really, really good position. Notwithstanding the vagrancies of the market and everything else. So, yeah, future's bright, future's Ardnahoe, future's orange.
Future's
Ardnahoe.
Shotgun. We've called 100% dibs on the Paolo Cortado and the Rioja casks.
Yeah.
We've called that.
Yeah.
It's done. It's done on this podcast today. It's done. Dibs.
We'll do 2 releases, one each.
Back to back. No problem.
Yeah. I've got my Sharpie pen here. I'll go up to the warehouse tomorrow and
you just write our name on it. Yeah, they can figure it out later. Just
yeah.
Oh my days!
But no, but again, to people that are listening that have tried Ardnahoe already, thanks so much for your enthusiasm and feedback. To guys like you that have been real advocates and ambassadors for the spirit and for ours and many other good distilleries as well. That's great. And it's really, really important to us, especially as a really small company. We've got a really, really small kind of head count. And if you've not tried it, well, what you waiting for?
No excuse.
Yeah, what you waiting for?
No excuses.
Especially if you like your peated whiskey, you're missing an absolute treat, right?
Yeah, yeah. And as I say, I do enjoy that, pouring it out for people that, peated whiskey's not my thing. Well, have a go at this, approach it with a bit of objectivity, and especially if you can get past the nose. Some people just that there's a really, really small percentage of people that can smell peat from 2 miles away and they'll never like it. But if you can get over the nose, the palate's really, really enjoyable, especially down towards 50%. Some people maybe wouldn't appreciate it at 60, 61%. But
it's funny you should say that, because I remember being at a whiskey festival with my dad and one of his friends, and specifically they said no peat. And I waited to the point when we were at the Gary Mill stand, and I was like, you've got to try. Do you remember that White Port Glen Scotia?
Yeah.
And I was like, lads, you've got to try this one.
Purple
There you go, the purple one.
The
It's in
white
the background.
one. Ah, yes.
That one there? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
I've
Yeah,
got one over
the
there.
silver one with the purple label, the purple bit in the back. And they tried it and they were like, "Oh, we love this. What's this?" And I was like, "It's peated." They peated.
Yeah.
I've done you.
They then instantly went, "Oh, it's disgusting."
Oh, it's disgusting. No, they went, "Really? Is that peated?" That is peated. Yes, 100%. You know, but it's just so fruity that you love it. Right,
Lefroyg's got a lot to answer for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, basically, Lefroyg's just ruined a lot of people who aren't into peat. It's just because Taliska's such gentle peat, and Highland Park is a gentle bonfire smoke, and these ones people are kind of okay with, and you sort of Johnny Walker with the tiniest hint of smoky peat. It's like the whiffiest of the whiffs, but Lefroy is really what's done a lot of people, and Lagavulin are kind of not so much because that's quite gentle, really, you know. Yes, just people having the Lefroy 10 going, "Oh, it's ripped my throat out." Basically, isn't it?
I think you're in a good place. What a place to be. Yeah.
And get back to what we said at the start. The folk that are the decision makers in the company, they deserve a lot of credit, and people that put the money in and all the rest of it. No, it's a family business. No, it's not done. The money's not came from anywhere else, but all that strategic thinking and decision making and the leadership involved is really, really important. But the guys and girls at the distillery have just done a cracking job, and the team at the bottling plant as well. Changing from a long-standing firm doing 300-400 bottles at a time, doing a couple of thousand at a time, and all the rest of it. It's been a real transition for us, and for us to produce spirit that's been received so well as it has been, like tonight and at festivals and shows, and just people putting their money in their pocket to pay for a bottle. It's really, really good. So it's a pleasure to be part of the company. To be honest,
you're a lucky man.
Job. Yeah, super job.
It's not lost on me, mate. It's not lost on me. No.
But I love your passion for it and what you do. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, isn't it, trying these 4 drams tonight?
Unreal. I'm gonna say thank
really
you
good.
for however many times I've felt it tonight. Thank you for sending these. And
pleasure.
Yeah, I will be picking up the Cask Strength for sure, and the Society Blues, obviously, when it comes out. But
I think that's 2 bottles in the bag, isn't it?
That Cask Strength for me is just mind blowing. So
it's amazing. It's going to be cool range, though, isn't it?
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Changer.
Like, Society's the one, obvs, but the fact that is going to be readily available in that guise.
Yeah. And also, like, your favorite Islay, well, this different, but the point is, because the profile is so different, but it's such a nice profile, and you want to drink it at we want to drink it at a sort of 55 to sort of 60%, and you can now, right? So
yeah,
it's just winner chicken dinner, in it, smashing
and
it.
That was part of the reason for doing the core rate, the core range, other than the Cask Strength, obviously at 50%, that we feel that's where the spirit works best. But if 50% is too much for you, you're maybe a new whiskey drinker, it's just not your thing. Well, it's a generous pour then. You can add your own water and take it down. So, and it goes back to that kind of 1998 launch of the old malt cask, where it was the first 50% whiskey released to the market when nobody else was doing anything above 46 unless it was Cask Strength. So I feel 50% was years ahead of its time in 1998.
100%.
Maybe Roy's created 55% in recent years, and it's years ahead of its time as well, to be perfectly honest.
Well,
it's where whiskey fans want to drink their whiskey, I think, that kind of 50, 55 or higher.
I think
48 to 55 really for me is
the old hang-ups are still there. Like, I think people, again, I go back to my mate that bought the Society release and has passed that on to everyone. He was still like, oh God, some of these are a bit strong. And I'm like, just chuck some ice in there. It will naturally bring it down. Just see where you like it. And he's like, I can't. I'm like, why are you thinking you can't add ice? Like, where's this coming from? Just dive in. It'll take you on a journey. And
the benefit of having a bottle, you can experiment with it. It's, I'm really glad you liked it, guys. I know you've been long-term fans and all the rest of it, but there's always a bit of trepidation bringing out new drams and letting people what they think. But for all the, I don't want to say sleepless nights I've had, but just that trepidation about, I wonder what people are going to think of this. And even Roy had that. As I said, the first time he tried his own. The reality is the vast majority of people's feedback is very, very positive. So
this is, like I said,
position to be in.
Year 2, you have now cemented yourself as my favourite Islay distillery. So
I think that's the thing that's changing for me as well. I think
maybe because I've got the distillery tartan. Just want to check that out.
I think that's a tweet. Sorry to correct you.
Is that? Oh, is it? Oh. I've embarrassed myself.
I think that realization that it's just the realization that essentially it's a real thing. It's sticking around. It's going to just keep getting better and better. We speculated, now we know, and it's just an exciting thing to see. I genuinely can't get my head around the fact you're doing a fairly large, consistent cask strength whiskey
already.
And just because. Just doesn't, when stuff's that good, usually it doesn't happen. That's the thing. It happens, but it doesn't happen with some other things where it's as good as this. So anyway, look, we've sort of eulogized enough, haven't we? I think, people sort of.
I also want to apologize to the viewers because I have spent most of the evening just looking down at these bottles, just grinning. So my attention's been here, not here.
I was going to say, your body language has leaked massively and you've not sworn for about 40 minutes, Mike, which is really unusual.
Paul, I've enjoyed that, to be honest. It's
a fucking miracle.
He's an absolute potty mouth sometimes. Sometimes he swears. It doesn't even know he's swearing. He just goes, choo, 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 shooting his mouth off. Yeah. Super job. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. Look, if you like the podcast, please give us a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple or any other platform if you has a YouTube. Score on it.
Watch, subscribe, like the videos, please.
This
is a new thing we have to work out as well.
Yeah.
Apparently you have to press a bell. So touch someone's bell on YouTube.
Ring our bell. We now got the video, right, Mike? So the thing is that we've basically just been doing audio. So now we're starting to do a bit of video, which also means people like Paul that come on, they have to iron their shirts, because we've got the old video on. People like Matt the Dramble can't smoke his, whatever it is on the episode. So, whatever. Dirty rollies. So people are having to actually make more of a conscious effort about, I have to actually think, does my hair look okay today?
And like
I shaved my cheeks, right?
Next time, check the email because White Top was literally in the invitation. So just saying.
Was it? Oh, that's my bad.
No.
Okay, right. Oh, you're winding me up.
It wasn't.
So,
if you want to find us, www.honestsommalt.com, all the social medias at honestsommalt. Paul, if people want to find you and Ardnahoe, what are they looking for online?
So I'm at Whisky Toasts and Ardnahoe is Ardnahoe Distillery and Hunter Laing is Hunter Laing Whiskey.
Excellent. So right. We also need to say a bit more on Whisky Toast. You've got like 30 seconds. Go for it. Like PR the Whisky Toasts.
So I started the company before I worked for Hunter Laing and Ardnahoe, so I did my own kind of tastings and subscriptions, still do them, but most of my work's now with Ardnahoe and Hunter Laing. So if you want me to do something special for you, I'm available, but also can wear the Ardnahoe and Hunter Laing brands as well. So
excellent, love it.
Best host in the biz. If you want a fun evening, you would have the best time with Paul.
You're like the Scott Quinnell of the whiskey world. You are like you've got a room gripped. So thank you.
Listen, whiskey brings nice people together. It's not the hardest job in the world. No, let's be honest.
You're underselling yourself. You've just got the nicest way about you. You just be
Right. I'm going to say it. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we will catch you on the next one. Bye.